Hi, this is first time tuning your soprano ukulele using an oscilloscope that doesn't have a digital readout. So some of them have like a little swing arm potentiometer thing that goes back and forth. This one has little bars that light up, but they basically work the same. You're going to do the same steps that we've talked about in class. This is a quick review. The first time you ever tune your ukulele is totally different than every other time you tune it. So this is only for the first time. If you are looking for tuning my ukulele on the third day, then you need to be watching a different video. This is for first time tuning the soprano ukulele using an oscilloscope that is not digital. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to, first of all, turn my ukulele so that I'm looking at its face, so that I can see all four strings. Going from left to right, our strings are G, C, E, and A. That very first string, string number 1, is the G string. And I'm going to put my finger on that G string and I'm going to trace it all the way back to the tuning key that is on the lower left-hand side of the headstock. This is the string that I want to tune to G. And let me say this again. Your app has no idea what string you're plucking. That is totally on you to make sure that you are watching for it to light up as a G. So we're going to start with this G string. You know, you could very easily just tune one string. It's not going to assume you're going in order. You have to kind of pay attention. So when I pluck this first string and I'm looking for a G, I'm not even close enough for the G to light up. Okay, so it's like, I think you're tuning an E, but you're not. So I'm going to keep turning and keep turning until it says, hey, I think you're tuning a G now, and that somewhere on your screen there's going to be a letter G. Now you can see that my tuning is still too low. So I'm going to keep turning this string, which is the G string, until I get a good lock right in the center of my screen with that bright green on this particular tuner. What I'm looking for it to be straight up G. So if you have one of these swing arm type tuners, you're going to be looking for it to be straight up and calling that G. When I do that, I know that I have accurately tuned my G string. Now I'm going to go to my C string, which is string number 2. String number 2 going from the left-hand side, and I'm going to slide my finger all the way up until I notice that the upper left-hand side of the headstock is the key I'm going to use to tune my C string. I'm going to give that puppy a pluck. And it's like, hey, you're pretty close to C. Let's see how much closer we can get. And again, I'm watching it. Uh-oh, I went the wrong way. It didn't improve. It didn't get closer to the C in the middle. So I'm going to go back the other way till I start seeing it get closer and closer and closer. Uh-oh, now I'm too high for C. Remember, I want it to be right smack dab in the middle, straight up C. So I'm going to go back a little bit until I get that bright green. Yes, I have found a C. It is both in the center of the screen and the C is lit up. Same thing now for my E string. I'm going to trace my E string up. And I'm going to watch that E string until I get all the way to the upper right tuning key. I'm going to give him a pluck. And it's like, hey, that's a C, yay. And you're going to think, sweet, I'm done. But remember, you are tuning an E string. So you have to turn that until it's straight up E. Now here's where it might get really confusing because you know you're tuning for an E string and you know that as the light comes over here onto the far side of your instrument, that means, oh, your string's too tight. But it isn't, because what you're looking for here is for it to be E. So you just have to trust yourself that it's looking for an E. And when you get it lighting up on the E, now you can worry about fine-tuning it. And again, you want it to be E lit up next to the picture of the ukulele and straight up perfectly in the middle, the E pitch. If you go too much, it's going to show you that. You go not enough, it's going to show you that. But you want it to be right, straight up E. We only have one string left. And that string is the A string. So I'm going to trace this string back. I'm going to notice that it lands on the lower right tuning key of the headstock. And I'm going to turn this one until the A is lit up. And again, this is for first time only. The A is lit up. And it's straight up or right in the middle. Right now it still says that's a G, but here in a second now it's going to swap over to A. And then I'm going to get it right straight up on A. Now, if this is the first time you've tuned your instrument, chances are pretty good that by the time you're done, it's going to be out again because those strings really want to go back to their factory tension. That's what they really want. They want to resist you changing them. So for the next couple of weeks, you're going to have to tune. After about 2 weeks of daily tuning your instrument, it'll get to the point where it's only off by a teensy tiny bit. Let's double check and see how much our strings changed since I tuned. Okay. This used to be a G straight up, and it's a little out of tune now. So I'm going to turn it until it is straight up G. There we go. Let's check this one. It's supposed to be a C, and it was straight up C, but in the time it took me to tune this first time, it got too low. So I'm going to keep turning it until I have straight up C. Let's check our E. Hey, our E still looks pretty good. And our A. Once I know that my ukulele is tuned straight up G, C, E, and A, just like Pokemon, gotta catch them all, G, C, E, A, I'm ready to play some chords. So we'll be learning about this in class, but if my instrument isn't tuned properly, then this won't sound right. So remember, if you are first time tuning your ukulele, this one is different than every other time. This one happens to be an oscilloscope that is not digital, and you might also have one that has a swing arm. They work the same way. You are making sure two things. Number one, that the correct string is lit up, the one that you are turning, and that it's right smack dab in the middle. Once again, this was tuning your soprano ukulele for the first time. Good luck.